What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Peru Travel Podcast. I'm your host, David Kozlowski. As always, next to me, my sidekick, Charlie Thompson. Today, we got something really cool. We're actually going to be reaching out to one of our travelers. I almost said first, but she wasn't. She was kind of down the list. But one of our travelers, we're really excited to have her on the show. She's charismatic, she's funny, she's entertaining, and she has a really good story about kind of why she went to Peru. And
she's witty. She's a nurse.
She is witty. And at the end of the day, we're just looking to kind of get some insight from her, somebody who traveled with us, sure, but at the same time, just kind of give you guys another sideline view of Peru. And really, she did some things that we don't offer. And so we kind of wanted to hear about that ourselves and get an idea as to what she did, what she thought of it, and see what her favorite thing was.
This was one of our travelers that we met while we were down in Peru a couple weeks ago or a month ago. I guess over a month ago now. It seems like yesterday, but still seems like a long time ago. I miss it already.
Yeah. Well, that being said, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into calling our friend Lindsey, and we're calling her right now. She doesn't even know. Oh, it's ringing.
Hello?
Lindsey Carver, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. This is David, obviously. Charlie's on with me as well.
Lindsey, how's it going?
Charlie. Good.
So what's special about Lindsey is that we actually got to meet. She is the first traveler, that we got to meet in person, which was huge for us.
That was actually really exciting and really cool. When we were down there, we didn't even know if it was going to happen until like the day before. So it was really exciting and really cool to meet somebody who booked with us and took a trip with us.
Yeah, it was awesome. And obviously she was there with her friend Joe, and they were awesome to hang out with. And we had a good time. She likes to, salsa dance?
Yeah, she loves to salsa, right, Lindsey?
Y'all would bring that up first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we did go salsa dancing that night.
We were there so what Kachi does is the night before you have an orientation. We kind of tell you what to expect the next day, what time the guide's going to be there to pick you up and take you on your travels, the food and all that stuff. So the orientation, it lasts anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. David or one of our guides will be there for you. So we went to this orientation, and we couldn't even get out what we wanted to say. And Lindsey was like, hey, you guys want to go salsa dancing?
It's pretty awesome. Lindsey, we're going to kind of just ask you a couple simple questions, really easy going. The first one is really about you and kind of who you are, what your story is. I think you just got out of college, if I'm not mistaken. We know your full-time job, but kind of give us a slate of who you are as a person. Who is Lindsey?
Okay, sure. So, yeah, I graduated in May from James Madison University in Virginia, and then moved to Richmond, and I work as a nurse full-time, so my schedule is pretty flexible, so I like to pack my shifts, like 3 in a row, and then take a few days off, and then the following week I'll take 3 in a row, so I'm able to travel a lot. And Joe was just a mutual friend that was looking for someone to travel with him to Peru, so I jumped on board, and we landed in Peru, and then I came across you guys listening to actually this podcast on Spotify. I was just trying to get like packing list tips and try to figure out the best way for us to see Machu Picchu, and I came across you guys. Yeah. So it's pretty awesome when we found out that you were actually in Peru at the same time that we were. That was really cool to meet you guys and really see the mission and the passion you guys have for this company. That's
awesome. Yeah. I mean, so why Peru? Like, what was your reasoning? Like, what made you think of Peru?
Before we get to that question, I got to cut you off, David. I really want to highlight what she said about her job and being able to travel. Like, she's a nurse and she plans it out. You said like you work 3 days, and then you have like a couple days off, and then you work another 3 days right in a row. So you have like a long stretch off, and you're able to travel all over the place. Like, this is something that you've kind of built your life around, right?
Yeah, like next week I'm going to San Diego, so I can work 3 days
San Diego.
And then take. Okay, excuse me. But yeah, I can work 3 days and then take 3 days off, and then the following 2 weeks later when I have to work again, I work 3 days the end of the week. So I only take 3 days off, but I have a 15-day stretch where I can go somewhere.
That's awesome.
That's really amazing.
It's
I'm
cool.
jealous.
It's really cool.
I wish that we could just travel for that much. That'd be amazing.
It's hard though. Don't get me wrong, but it's worth it all in the end. So.
I'm sure. And so what made you think of Peru? Like, what was your like moment where you're like, I really want to go here and here's why?
But I don't really think it was that way. I think it was just why not.
Yeah, look at that. It was a why not. That's special. That's awesome.
Of course, everyone wants to see Machu Picchu. It's one of those bucket list things that, you have to do. And
so would you say that...
You guys are there.
Yeah. What would you say that when going to Peru, your favorite thing was that you did? Just, and it doesn't need to be necessarily anything they did with Kachi. We're just curious to know kind of what it is that you did and what was like your most memorable moment, or maybe if you had a couple, talk about them. Let's hear them.
Okay. Can I give you a top 3?
Absolutely. Top 3s are great.
Okay. Obviously, Machu Picchu was awesome. It was more than I expected. It was just gorgeous.
Break that down. Hold on. Break that down real quick. What was gorgeous and amazing about it?
Well, so I think you're about ready to say, like, pictures never do anything justice, and this is definitely one, like, it's not even close.
Not even, no. And I did a Vista Dome through you guys, so I didn't even hike the Incan Trail. I can't even imagine I'm serious, like the sense of accomplishment that you have seeing it after hiking for a few days. I just was comfortable riding the train, but...
Yeah.
That was cool too.
And then what else you got?
So I would say that the day with you guys for Rayan, the Rayan Community, I don't know if you've touched on that in any of your podcasts, but that could be its whole own segment.
Yeah. We've got Lindsey's telling us how to market right now. This is what's going on. She's like, look here, guys, this was a great tour. You need to talk about this on every podcast. Now, it's in the plans. We're going to probably put this out before possibly. We know we need to do one on Rayan. It was just more, we're kind of waiting because we want to get some more people out there to kind of get their feedback. And you were our very first Rayan Community tour. What made that great? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, so to sum it up, I think, I spent a week in Lima, and that shows you the well-off, very, just a city way of living. And it's only 1/3 of the population. But I feel like the day tour with Rayan showed us the way that the rest of the country and the majority of the country truly lives. And I don't know, it was such insight. And to me, that was cooler than Machu Picchu just because the views were probably just as great. There were Incan ruins up there as well. And then we also got to meet local people and help them and see how they lived and share a meal with them. So that was just more, that was just richer in value, I think.
Sweet. Leave it to Lindsey to break your heart or melt your heart rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And Dave's right. We're going to do an episode on this because this is honestly, this tour changed my life when I went on it. And what you said, I think, having a meal with the people and everything that you highlighted, like that's what makes Rayan so special. So that's 2 out of 3. What was the third one?
The third one was something that I don't think you guys. Oh no, you did do it, right? The sandboarding.
We did not. We want to. We want to go sandboarding.
Yes, definitely sandboarding.
You should do it. That was just a fun day. So we went sand buggy riding. There was someone who drove us around, and he was reckless. I almost suggest don't getting this man. I don't remember his name now, but it was crazy. I had bruises the next day, but it was so fun. Like, it was worth it. And so you ride around on the sand buggies, and then we watched the sunset on the top of the dune. And then you could, if you're really good, you can get like snowboarding boards and then actually stand up on them. But I just did it on my belly. I wasn't that adventurous.
That would be me. That would be me too.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. And I've never been to a desert, so I've never seen any type of terrain like that before, but it was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a different type of beauty. That definitely is on my bucket list to see a desert like that. So now that we talked about your top 3, we talked a little bit about Rayan Community Tour. We talked a little bit about Machu Picchu. So as a whole, your experience, did you do any other tours in Cusco with any other companies? Just curious.
We did. So the Huacachina, Las Bayetas Islands, it was all one day, and that's the sandboarding. And then we went to, it's called the Little Galapagos Islands. That's islands of Bayetas. And we did all of that with Peru Hop.
Okay.
Which I think is also run or started by Americans.
Yeah. I remember you kind of talking to us about that. So if you were to break down your experience, and this is the plug of the show, everyone is listening, so just be ready. If you were to break down your experience, and we did not plan this is not something that we called Lindsey ahead of time. We literally knew that she had a great trip. She wrote a review on TripAdvisor and on Facebook, and so we just kind of want to get her in to see what her thoughts are about our guides, about the people she got to meet, and kind of the whole experience with Kachi, and really be relentless. Like if there's something negative, we want to hear it and just let it all out as to how you felt, what the trip was like, the people you were like, the employees, the community, etc. And just, I'm going to let you just slate, and we're just going to listen to the story that you're about to tell.
All right. Well, obviously, I don't even think it compares because we got to meet you guys. But even if we hadn't, I think that I think that you're available. I remember listening to this podcast and you were saying, shoot us an email. And so we did. We communicated via email before we even met you. And so it just created a sense of, connection, I guess, to the company and what we were paying money for. But then on the other tour that we did without you guys, it was a huge group of people. But with both of the tours that we booked through you guys, it was private tours. So it was just me and my friend. And we really connected with the tour guides. We spent the whole day with them. We could ask them questions. If we wanted more free time, they would give it to us. It was just more individualized. And I felt like that was a greater experience rather than just being loaded onto a bus and taken somewhere. We were picked up in a private taxi with the tour guide in a taxi that you guys had hired. And the taxi driver ended up coming along with us the whole day at Rayan, which I thought was really cool. So he was sharing in that too. And he was out there like digging potatoes with us and doing things to give back to the community. And you could just tell that it was enriching for him as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy how we experienced something similar to that with our, I don't know if you guys took a van or a car, but we experienced something very similar where our driver came out with us. And I think what's beautiful about the Rayan Community Tour is you really get a sense of how proud these people are about the Peruvian culture and how everyone really is looking to help everyone in that specific region of the country. And Lima, exactly. It's a city like New York, right? I mean, it's a city just like anywhere else in the United States. It's very hustle and bustle. It's moving. It's got great economic growth right now. They're blowing away everybody in South America. But then just outside of Lima, you've got cities that are still trying to develop. They're still trying to grow. And people see that. People who live there see it. And especially guys like David, did David end up going on the Rayan Community Tour with you guys?
Yeah, he did. It was awesome.
And David is somebody who really is a huge hero in my mind because he is somebody who lives there. He has a great job, right? He has a great job in terms of that he works with us and he gets paid very well for doing so. But his passion for the locals is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you can't help but love him because the second that they showed up, he looks at them and he's like, from what we were told, he correct me if I'm wrong, Lindsey, he's like, all right, you guys are going to work in the fields and like put you guys to work, and was like, start learning. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he said. Start learning. Like, you need to learn the way. We did, definitely.
I love that. And Dave, you mentioned a great thing, like David in Peru, Villegra is his name. He loves the people so much because in part he grew up that way. Like David grew up Quechua. Like that's his native. That's what runs through his bloods, and he cares so much. And I think that shows through his work and through the connection that he makes with people. That's what he showed to us, and that's what it sounds like he showed to you guys too, Lindsey.
Yeah. So I'm curious.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm curious. You speak really good Spanish. We experienced that when you were there. Did you?
I don't know if you caught what she was saying, some Spanish words earlier when she was talking about going to some islands and stuff like that. They were really, really well spoken. Not us.
Charlie's
not
an
us.
expert at Spanish, clearly.
You guys are giving me too much credit.
So, I mean, when you were there at Rayan, were you able to communicate at all with the locals, or was it kind of broken?
It was very broken because they speak the Quechua, and I don't speak that at all.
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
You would think it would be very similar to Spanish, but usually those people, or the Quechua people, speak Spanish and their native language.
Yeah, that's crazy. And when David started speaking Quechua, you just kind of got lost?
Exactly, yeah.
That's funny. So we heard a little bit about your trip to Machu Picchu. I'm going to start wrapping this up, but I gotta ask one thing because I got an email from Joe. Joe is the gentleman that you were going with, and I want to get Joe on the show to tell this story, but I need to know if this is true, and I need to know if this is it just seems crazy to me that this actually happened. I kind of know how this played out and how it ended because I didn't get to communicate with anybody. But he told me that you guys were in Machu Picchu. Your guide was who?
It was a female. So you guys told us it was going to be someone, and then it was Gloria, I think was her name.
Gloria. Okay. Yep. I thought it was going to be Frank. So my question is, supposedly you guys went to tip Gloria and she refused.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, she did an awesome job, and we wanted to reward her for that. I mean, we felt like she deserved it, and so we went to pull out the money, and she kind of put her hands up like, no. She said, I get paid well through the company, and we were so surprised that she was doing this because she enjoys doing it, and obviously you guys are paying her well enough to where she doesn't feel the need to accept a tip.
It's crazy. And honestly, if I ever saw her, I'd be like, you need to take tips. Like, still take the tips.
Right?
Like, take the tips.
I
It's
know.
okay.
I was like, no, you need to go give it to her. Like, and he's like, she didn't want it. Like, he didn't want to be rude, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy. I still would have told her, like, please take the tip. But I mean, yeah, I think hearing that on our end, that was really special. And it really made my heart warm to know that, we are making sure that people are getting taken care of. And hearing that sort of validates it. At the same time, like, we don't want to put a persona either that people shouldn't tip because it still is good,
Right.
a good to tip. And obviously if she doesn't take it, there's nothing you can do about that.
I think that's probably the most humbling, story that us, being Kachi can hear, because that, like David said, that truly, makes it all worth it, really. Like, that's what makes it worth it in the end. And what makes us so passionate about what we're doing.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool. Well, if you were to, let's see, give 1 or 2 or 3 tips to people listening right now, the final thing that we're going to get out of you, what would they be? You're going to Peru. What are the tips? I mean, let's say somebody reached out to you and said, hey, I'm thinking about going to Peru. I don't know Spanish. I don't know anything about Peru. What do you got?
Can they be simple?
They can be super simple.
Okay, you don't need a converter. I brought a converter. I was thinking I needed one. You don't need a converter.
So did I.
Yeah.
You did you really?
Yes,
funny.
I did.
I ordered currency, so I ordered the sol before I got there, and I think that was awesome to have that right off the bat. Not having, especially if you don't speak Spanish, like not having to worry about exchanging it somewhere. You can order it like your local bank, and then just have money ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is also really silly, but someone told me to take baby wipes. And
I tell everybody to take baby wipes.
Really? Right? I don't know what it is, but I use the whole pack. So
That's awesome.
Still have toilet paper. After sandboarding, I was kind of like sandy and dirty. So I use them a lot.
Yeah.
I just carry them with me everywhere I went. So those would be my top 3.
That's great. No, well, Lindsey, we want to thank you so very much. We might try to get you on the show some other time if you tell us some more crazy information about your trip, or if you're going back. Definitely want to get Joe. But thank you so very much for hanging out with us. I can't thank you enough for being one of our travelers that we got to meet. Hopefully in the future, I'll see you again. I told you you're going to get invited to the wedding. Hopefully you come party with us. But thanks so much. We appreciate you hanging out with us today.
I appreciate you guys, seriously. I hope to see you soon, too.
Thanks, Lindsey. Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate it.
Well, guys, that was Lindsey.
All right,
Well, guys, that was Lindsey Carver, for one of our Kachi travelers. Thanks for listening so much. Can't wait to talk to you guys next week.